Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We got your boy AK from SWATs in the building tonight, sharing showcase, doing this Atlanta rap history interview. Big dog, it's good to meet you, and I'm glad to have you in the building.
Hey man, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're gonna get on into this first question. The first album critically acclaimed from SWATs, AK SWATs.
Yeah, man. Critically Acclaimed was my first album. I dropped it in 2010. I just did a re-release on that project. I really think it was ahead of its time. I was recently, a few years before that, maybe 5 years before that, SWAT Team had disbanded, and I had converted over to a solo artist. And in that process, man, I kind of was wanting to do something different. The SWAT Team moniker and brand was a little more aggressive, and I wanted to really show people what I had to offer. And so I went into doing the Critically Acclaimed project, which, man, led me to working with a lot of major artists, such as, your T-Pains, your Waka Flocka Flames, Crime Mob, Tyrese. A lot of things happened on that album that really showed me what my reach was as an independent artist. And all of the production was done by my boy E&B, Nicholas Bailey, who now has went on to become one of the biggest faces in the industry. He currently does tour graphics for people such as Lil Baby. He does a lot of work with Flow Rider. And he's done graphics for almost every artist in rap.
Highly talented individual,
yeah, man,
basically.
Shout out to E&B, man, but what his blessing was for me is he produced the entire Critically Acclaimed album.
Wow.
And including the big records. And so that was a really big moment for me. The record Drop It Down Low on there ended up being a record that, this is before kind of like Soulja Boy really went crazy on YouTube.
Right.
And so, I ended up having the record with me and T-Pain, which was originally a sample.
Right.
And that record ended up going on YouTube to have over 30 million plays.
Wow.
And at that particular time, it was just a sample. Nobody knew it wasn't really T-Pain on the record. I sampled him on the record, but the record got so popular that I gave the record to Greg Street. He loved the record, and he had just done a deal with Interscope. And so he called me in and I gave him the record, and we ended up doing a remix to the record, it was my record featuring T-Pain and Young Jock. And T-Pain actually got on the record for real.
Okay.
And so that was huge. It could have been better for him. I think Greg's deal with Interscope fell through. But he did end up having the Good Day single with Nappy Roots, which is still a good record, great record to this day. I remember being in the studio when they was working on the record. And so, great album, man, great album. Got to work with Waka Flocka Flame on my album. Got to work with Parlay from Franchise, Gucci, Tyrese. And so it was shouts out to Sarita Shanae, Black Smith, Sasha Zamora. It was just a really good album, Trick. And so it's definitely, good experience for me, man, and I'm glad that I made that piece of work, man.
Exactly. Okay, so you just mentioned Trick now, so I gotta go into that. How was it working with Trick from Detroit?
I met Trick, man. Shouts out to my boy Parlay from Franchise, which is still to this day a very, very good friend of mine. I talked to him the other night. He called me. Y'all be looking out, man. We got the mental health awareness event coming up, man, in Atlanta. I want to say on June 4th, which I will be a part of it. I reached out to Parlay. The way I met, it's funny how I met Trick, because me and Jizzle Man from Franchise Boys was working on a mixtape called From MLK to Decatur. And Jizzle had a record that I had wrote called Jack Boys. And Trick happened to be in town. They was filming a movie, him and his brothers. and they happened to be in town. And Trick heard the record, loved the record, so he told Parlay he wanted to meet me. And so they called me down to the studio. I got the chance to meet a legend. You know, man, big shouts out to Trick, shouts out to the city of Detroit, Michigan. And we had the opportunity to do the record. And the crazy thing was, man, Trick, so humble, real street dude, but real humble, man, showed a lot of love, and just jumped on the record, man, sent the vocals right back. And a lot of people that I've met in that time frame, maybe between 2010 2015 when the album came out, was like, man, I'm from Detroit. I ran into some people from up that way. Like, how you get Trick on the album? And I was like, damn, I didn't know it was like that because I'm not from that area.
Right.
And it just felt really good, man, to work with somebody who people who are not from my area revere.
Right.
And that's when I started kind of feeling like, damn, man, you kind of touching. You already worked with Pain. You already worked with, and started feeling like, you know, I'm on a record with somebody who's actually worked with Eminem.
Right.
And, you know, 6 degrees of separation is crazy. So I just kind of felt like, damn, you know, when you work with Pain, look at all the people he's worked with. You work with Gucci, look at all the people he's worked with, and Walker. And although I haven't had my big break yet, it was just at that moment in time to be able to feel like, damn, look at all of the people I'm touching rubbing elbows with, you know.
But the energy was vibing. I mean, it was matching up. You know, high stakes entertainer after high stakes entertainer, and it's like it was just a constant flow of good, positive, melting pot type energy. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. You know, in this industry, man, you don't really know what to expect from people. You know, I've met some artists that I'm fans of that I won't mention their names, that, you know, my experience in coming across them was not as pleasant.
Right.
And, you know, to each his own. But I always told myself, man, I always want to be somebody that when people meet me, I want to be what they thought I was going to be.
Exactly.
I don't care how much fame I get or how much success I have, I want to be that person.
Right.
Because I know what it's like to meet your favorite rapper. Or meet
and then you be disappointed.
And you be disappointed, man. And, you know, I come from an era where, you know, we don't just buy the music, we buy the person. And that's why we like the music, because of the persona. As opposed to this day where it's just all about the music. And I think we got to kind of get back to that. Get back to really supporting the art.
Right.
The artist that stands behind the art. Like, you know, we used to see the creating process of actually making a product. And now all we do is get the finished product.
We get the aftermath and then the drama. And
exactly.
Miss all the talent, the culture, and everything that was gifted to it. So.
And that's just one of those things, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, how was it sampling Tyrese and getting his blessing on it?
So shouts out to my boy Crew, and shouts out to Big Theo Hill of Super Sound Music, formerly Super Sound Music. You know, I had the opportunity to work with Tyrese. When I initially did that record, it was just like the T-Pain record, actually. You know, the T-Pain record was a record that essentially got sampled, and with the record getting sampled, it wasn't cleared at the time. With Tyrese, it was more, I had met Tyrese at the time. He had an in-store at Super Sound Music, and when we had the opportunity to do the in-store, I actually had the chance to let him hear the record. He was tired, he was on tour, and he took the chance to sit down and hear the record. And the weird thing is that he was like, have you sent it to the label to get it cleared? And I was like, no. I said, but I've already sent your ASCAP in for your publishing. And so I already had that made sure. I knew I wasn't going to make no money off the record.
Exactly.
And so I had already submitted the publishing so that he realized that it was like one of those things, like, you already got me taken care of. I said, man, if I make $10 off of it, it's all yours.
Okay.
It's all yours because and he said, he told me he liked the record. He said he was glad that I was inspired by a piece of work that he had did.
Right.
And if you know, outside of Chingy, Tyrese didn't do a lot of features.
Right.
So with him doing that particular record, and then me actually meeting him, that's my favorite.
Right.
That's actually my favorite R&B singer.
And the energy vibe was.
Oh, it was good. He was tired though, man. Like it wasn't a bad vibe. It was more like he was tired.
Yeah.
You know, I had been traveling around here and did 3 or 4 stops.
Tyrese be working hard, bro.
Yeah, he worked hard, and a lot of people don't realize he doesn't tour a lot.
Right.
So when he does, he go hard. But once again, he was a stand-up guy. Big shouts out to Tyrese.
So would you say he's another one of those that love to give his fans exactly what they thought they were gonna get?
Yeah, I can't say I would say I got what I thought I was gonna get.
Right, from him.
Yes, I got what I thought I was gonna get. And you know, Tyrese he's taller than I thought he would be. He has huge fucking hands. But nah, man, he like I say, stand up dude. He got a calm spirit. And I was just happy to be able to meet once again somebody that I revere and respect very so much. And at this time I wasn't even doing R&B, so that's kind of cool, yeah.
Right, okay. Talk about the state of, what you think the state of music in Atlanta is right now.
Lost. I feel like being somebody who's a pioneer of one of the biggest underground rap groups, if not the biggest underground rap group to come out of Atlanta. We're from Decatur, but come from the city. You know, I had the opportunity to see the game go from what it was to what it is now.
Right.
And going through that, you saw the game. You know, you have your peaks and your valleys, your ups and your downs. And I just kind of feel like, you know, recently we took the loss of Trouble. You know, rest in heaven, Trouble. Yeah, nah, most certainly, man. Every time I ran across Trouble, man, you know, definitely God bless them. Trouble was good people, for sure. I had the opportunity for myself to interview Trouble as well, so shout out to Duct Tape, you know what I mean? Shouts out to Trouble. Rest in peace. And, you know, and then, you know, having Thug locked up, and then Lucci locked up, and, you know, it's just kind of one of these things where we're seeing a lot of our brothers go to jail.
Right.
Or die.
Right.
And it's left a very big void on the rap scene, either because who those artists are attached to or who are up under them, and it's left the game with a lack of leadership.
Right.
You've noticed lately we've seen a lot of people come back. Killer Mike came back, Tip coming back, and I think it's simply because the game lacks. You know, you used to be able to grow with artists.
Right. I mean, because I grew up with like Too Short and E40
and 40 still doing it. 40
I mean, the music be raising the children, man.
Yeah, I just seen something with, they had a super group, was it Mount Westmore, which is E40, Q, Snoop, and Too Short.
Oh, them, man.
Oh, yeah, they dropped a project. Oh, my God, it's dope. You know, I think creativity doesn't leave you after the money comes. I think people think you've had your moment. So I tell people you have to stay creative. And so in Atlanta, what I see us lacking is we've allowed everybody to have a piece of us. New York, we gave them a piece of us. We gave Cali a piece of us. We gave the Midwest a piece of us. And Atlanta to the point now where we got to start preserving what Atlanta really is.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people see what they see on TV as Atlanta, but if you really from Atlanta, that ain't Atlanta.
That ain't Atlanta, bro.
And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the people for being here.
Most definitely.
I appreciate them coming down to take opportunity to see our beautiful city.
Exactly.
But
it's an honor.
But we can't alienate the culture, because what do we have left when the focus is not on Atlanta anymore?
Right. You got nothing.
We were Atlanta with or without the national or the worldwide spotlight. So we got to try to find some way to preserve that, and it has to be through the artistry.
I think
the artists have to be more influential in our communities.
Right.
And it can't just be by what we serve on the internet, which is success. Success is best served hot, but I'm talking about more of only highlighting the negative and creating a stigma that either you doing it like me or it's nothing. Or, you know, we just gotta teach them that don't just look at what I do, look at the fact that I'm trying to pave a way for you. I'm trying to pave a way for you so that you can understand that there's other opportunities out here. And so I think, and then creatively, man, we gotta start like, you know, I think we're just remaking a lot of music right now because they are, there's no artists, what we used to have with the labels. We don't have A&Rs anymore. We don't.
No, there's no guidance. There's no money management. I mean,
so you get that first go round. We used to saying, man, you remember where Jay-Z started? Look at where he's at now. You remember where so-and-so started? Look at where he's at now. Right. That was because they had people around them, and the bar was constantly being raised. So I think the youngest get tired of hearing the OG rappers say things because it make it seem like we hating or they're hating. But the reality of it is we just want you to be around.
Exactly.
So, you know.
I mean, it's been too many instances where you hear one day and you go on the next.
No, most certainly.
It's turning into too much of a consistency. You know what I'm saying?
I most certainly agree, and I just want people to realize that our music, you know, you're supposed to be able to get older and say, I'm still listening to so-and-so. Because they don't, rap is the only art that we put an age on. They don't do it in R&B. They don't do it in blues. We don't do it in country music. We don't do it in gospel. Actors don't get too old. So I just think, like, you know, I think that we ought to stop putting the age bracket on doing rapping. Because at the end of the day, the art don't get old.
No, it don't.
So I just think that now the content may change because you're older.
Yeah.
But I think that we ought to open the lane up a little more so that we don't phase artists out.
Right.
So that the artists have opportunity to give back and still have the public give them some relevance so that they can pass that down.
Mm-hmm.
When you take the relevance away, you take that mic away from that artist, then it doesn't allow them to give something to the youth in front of everybody,
right.
Not just behind the scenes.
I agree.
So people can see how it's supposed to be done.
That's how it's supposed to be done. They need a template to follow,
a
man.
template. That's what
they
I'm
just out
saying.
here wilding.
Exactly.
Okay, let's stay focused.
Yeah, man.
How did you start doing R&B? And talk about yourself as a writer and transitioning,
Excuse me, I'm so tired.
and how you balanced both, bro. Because that's a big job right there.
Oof. You know, man, I found myself constantly reaching in rap to find something, to find an emotion I couldn't find. Some of the things that I was going on in my personal life, I couldn't. You know, I used to run to the gym. I run to the microphone to create art that was supposed to reflect. But there was just a deeper emotion. And, you know, I grew up in the church. You know, I come from a family of singers. And when I was in SWAT, you know, doing SWAT team, music with SWAT team earlier on, I wanted to dabble with R&B, but it just wasn't as cool to do at the time. The only person who was really being accepted like that was Andre 3000.
Cause he did a nasty crossover.
Yeah, or CeeLo Green.
Yes, CeeLo crossed over
Most
too.
of them shouts out to the Good Mob, shouts out to Arcade
Big
Dungeon
shouts
family.
out, yes sir. Yes, sir.
Or my boy Cuddy Cartel, rest in peace Cuddy.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to work with him and Mark Twain in the studio, crazy session. But point is, man, is that I went through a point in my life where I was starting to question who I wanted to be.
Right.
And I was, you know, going through, it was an influx of trying to create a new me.
Did you feel it first? Like you could like you didn't really speak on it, but you could feel it inside wanting to come out or be expressed.
I felt like I wanted to come out and do R&B, but I felt like I didn't know what that looked like.
Yeah.
Because it's a different type of skin, it's a different type of vibe.
Yeah.
It's like, even when I do my stuff now, like my dress game different, the way I walk different, the way I talk different, the way I interact with the lady, everything is different.
Right.
And so I was very self-conscious about being a different person.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to realize they really the same person, and it might look different, but they are two different people. And the way I balance them is, I am more in R&B mode at this point in my life. And so the content feels fresher. The subject matter feels fresher.
You feel like a grown man. You get a grown man on. You know what I'm saying, bro?
And I think the rap feels more like it's easy. It's easy.
Because it's been there.
It's been there. It's my baby.
But
it's
now
just
you're
growing up.
venturing in the new grind.
Yeah, and so
because you're a new man. You're a different man. You know what I'm saying?
And it feel good.
And that's a blessing.
It feel good, man. And so being able to talk about things that I feel like, let me say it like this. R&B offers me something right now at this point in my life that I can give to every person I come in contact with. And although I love rap, I'm always be a hip hop baby. And I'm still doing it, still lending my hand to it. It doesn't offer me the same thing.
Would you say it could be kind of compared to mental nutrients for other black men that's along that same timeline, you know what I'm saying? Because we get lost, bro, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if I want to say that, but what I do want to say is I hope and pray that the music that I'm making is therapeutic.
Okay, that's even better.
For the men that are able to hear it. Because the brand of my first album is called My Stolen Diary. And you're not used to a man saying he has a diary.
Right.
That's the reason I called it that, because I wanted people to realize that there's a running narrative right now in the world, especially among men, that we can't talk, we can't open up. If we open up, we're vulnerable, we soft.
Or you're considered to be, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm like, why is this the narrative, and why? Yeah. And I'm not blaming the women, but there's a question: why are the women letting that narrative run and grow legs?
I agree.
And so I think by me doing My Stolen Diary, with the single being Broken Heart, I opened up the conversation.
Right.
To be somebody who's extremely vulnerable. I hear the women making that type of music, but right now, currently in R&B, I don't feel like nobody's making, even independent or major, the type of vulnerable music that I'm making.
So it's like they'll glance at the book cover, but won't open the...
I feel like you gotta rip the scab all the way off. Rip it all the way off. I'm talking about having the most uncomfortable
That's the only way to heal.
Literally.
Healing gotta take place.
Having the most uncomfortable conversations, because they breed the most progress. Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. What you got coming up next, man?
Right now I'm focused on SWAT Team Music Group, which is my label. It's been around since 2007. Obviously, with me being on the label, I'm a CEO and an artist, so I got a new album coming out this year called The Deluxe. It's a rap album. It's only 7 cuts on there, so it's an EP. I have a R&B EP coming out called My Stolen Diary 1.5. As you guys can already go online and stream My Stolen Diary, the full-length album came out last year and it's in stores right now. Y'all can go get my previous album, Critically Acclaimed, which came out in 2010, but it's a pretty dope album if you're a real hip-hop head. The Son of Bubba, Conversation, is my previous rap album, but this new content is fresher. It just feels different. I finally hit my mark, man. So like I said, I got 2 albums coming out for myself this year, R&B EP and a rap EP. I got my new artist I just signed called Nunny Stoney. She's from Seattle, Washington. Her new album, her EP comes out in June, and it's called Beauty and Darkness. With the new single Don't Need That out on all platforms. Y'all go check Nunny Stoney out. We got R&O King Solid, which dropped the R&O project, Real Niggas Only. He dropped the R&O project in 2020, but we get ready to remix his single, Running Through the Money. Parlay from Franchise Boys gonna jump on that record. And so we dropping that EP, R&O Volume 2, the EP in June. Nunny Stoney's album comes out in EP, comes out in June. My Stolen Diary 1.5 comes out in June. The only thing that comes out in May is the Deluxe, which is my rap EP. Then we got SWAT Team. Everybody been waiting on it, man. The city in particular been really waiting on this same old SWAT, June 26th. And so between the end of May and the end of June, I got 5 projects coming out. 5. And I don't think nobody else is working like we working. That's 5 projects, 4 artists, and I'm excited about it, man. Very excited.
Okay, let the people know where they can find you at, all the social media.
If you want to follow my record label, follow us as @STMG LLC, which is SWAT Team Music Group, Limited Liability Company, man. I'm looking for more artists, man. Looking for young talent as well. If you want to follow me as AK Swag, it's a little hard to follow, but it's _1.rapper, RAPPA.1 singer, SANGA.1 AKSWATS_. It's pretty long, but I pride myself in being unique. I rather be hard to find me. Because if it's really hard to find me and you really want to find me, you're going to find me.
Okay.
I'm a diamond in the rough, man. So, yeah, man, that's where they can find me at, man. And I just want to let people know, like, real pioneer from the city, man. As far as the east side, man, one of the original ones who helped build this city to what it is now. Go check out the Real East Side Story, narrated by Corey C. Murder Miller. You know, check out Atlanta Rap History for interviews with SWAT Team. And check out, just Google, man, new single from SWAT Team, Awkward Crime Mob. You know, just really check out the movement and what's going on. But more importantly, man, this is about me, AK Swats, taking the opportunity to tell y'all who I am, where I come from, where my origin is from. And I appreciate Atlanta Rap History for giving me the opportunity to do such.
Hey, man, we appreciate you coming out, man, giving us the opportunity to share our platform and talk about and express everything you got going on, you got coming in the future, and that you've done in the past as a legacy. Thank you. Big shout out, bro.
Hey,
thank
man,
you.
I appreciate
AK,
that.
SWAT Team, y'all. We're finna get out of here. Peace.
Yeah.